Ethereum finally made it past $200 since our last video. Today the market slowed down a little bit, either a dip or a reversal. Let's see where the price is headed going into May. Hey guys, we're back with another video. You're tuning with me, John, at Real John Doe from Currency.com. As always, don't forget, hit the like, subscribe button, and we will have more videos to come. We just had a historic month for Ethereum, and the price right now is looking to close the month above $200. It's been a big recovery since that big drop we had in March that brought us down to about $90. So let's have a look at what we're currently seeing for Ethereum, the possible very bullish outlook for Ethereum 2.0 update, and also the long and short setups going into May. Quick thing to mention here, Currency.com will be having a 0% commission day for trading Bitcoin on the halving date, May 12th. That is in 11 days, 20 hours, 51 minutes. You'll be able to trade Bitcoin with 0% commission, no fees. And if you haven't already, sign up for a demo account or a live account, get in on that action. Today we're going to be looking at Ethereum and doing a little technical analysis on which setup we can get into going into the month of May. We're roughly at around $200. Things are indicating right now that traders are likely to buy the dips for Ethereum in the coming days, anticipating that we have enough momentum to go to that next resistance at around $240. If the bulls can hold off two support levels, first one at $200 and the next one at about $170, then we can expect to more than likely go test that $240 resistance. And if we make it up there to that $240 level, then we can also potentially make it to that next resistance at $280, and then potentially break $300, which would bring us to new highs for the year. As of right now, the time of filming, the last day of April, Ethereum is trading at about $211. We're leaning towards the high of the day, which was $212. And right now, trader sentiment, 62% are long and 38% are short on Currency.com. Let's look at one more thing that I think can be a very good outlook for Ethereum in the long run here. So after a manual audit was done on about 10,000 wallets, it suggests that a bull run can start after the transition of Ethereum 2.0 based on the amount of people who are holding. So as of right now, the distribution for Ethereum shows that about 17% of Ether, that's about 16.6 million Ethereum tokens, is held by only 10 addresses. So in the top 10,000 addresses hold about 94% of all available Ethereum out there. And this shows that a lot of the tokens are actually being used and held for smart contracts. In the past 90 days, Ethereum has been used 440 times more than Bitcoin for transactions. Bitcoin hasn't really been used that much for transactions in the past 2 years, it says here, only about 0.36%. So there's been another finding that whales have been accumulating during the downtrend for the past few months, and they brought in close to $550 million into the market in the past 6 months. Also, the initial founders and Genesis buyers, they're still holding all their Ethereum bags, and they make up for majority of these 10,000 wallets. And I would not expect any of them to be selling anytime soon with the new Ethereum 2.0 on the way, because it's been reported that Ethereum 2.0 will likely initially return 12 to 17% running on proof of stake. I think this is very bullish for Ethereum. Let's have a look at those trend lines and those resistance zones to see when Ethereum 2.0 comes and the Bitcoin halving, where we can expect to see the price. To the US dollar on the daily, looking about 1 year back. So since then, since that high we've reached last year, we haven't broken out of that downtrend yet. We're still trending downwards on that long-term frame, but short-term, since that big drop we had in March, we are trending upwards. Looks like a pretty healthy pullback to go test that resistance line on the long-term trend. What we're going to be looking at in terms of price up there is going to be right up here, and that would be close to $300 would be where we would want to break out of and consolidate around here. On the downside, what we're going to need to also watch is this range here, this support at around $150, $140. So from that low that we hit this year compared to the high from last year, so it's still hard to say which direction we'll be going into May, but right now we've been building in quite a bit of momentum, and I could see us going right up to test this resistance line. This would be where we would need to make or break, because if that gets rejected and brings us down, then we can possibly test that 150. So testing that 150 would be a healthy correction from the top of that trend line if we did not break down into a new low. But let's say the bulls keep their momentum and we flip this trend line and it becomes a new support up here, then we can expect to sit at around $250 before we would continue our trend upwards to go test a new yearly high price. So going into May or the halving, what I would be looking for a long setup, I would then be looking to get into an entry in this range where we're at right now. Possibly wait for it to break down and test this line, and then continue up for this long-term trend line. So if $200 does not hold, the next support I'm looking for is 170, 175. That would be the prime entry for a long position to test that long-term trend line. You could scale into a position and enter at that $200 support and also at that 175 support before a continuation upwards. Another possibility that I can see us not even making it to that trend line up there is a rejection to the current zone that we're at right now, going into the halving, and May ends up being a bearish month and we make our ways to 150, bounce off that, make our ways to test 200 again and reject and continue the trend down to new lows for Ethereum. So I got the two possibilities here marked out on what can happen, the bullish scenario and the bearish scenario. So on the long-term trend line, the prices you're going to need to watch is 300 for the upside, and also downside you're going to need to watch for 150. But overall, things are looking bullish for Ethereum. We picked up quite a bit of momentum from that yearly low, and it looks like we're going to test that yearly high. But the question is, which one's coming first, 150 or 300? Thanks for tuning in with Currency.com. If you enjoyed, hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.